my name is Greg Andrade, and I'm a candidate for a degree in the Master of Educational Technology at Boise State University. To give you a little bit about my background, I've been a graphic design and digital imaging educator for the past 19 years. A few years ago, I was given the opportunity to add digital photography to my courses. Prior to teaching, I've been a graphic designer in the Palm Springs area for over 25 years. People ask me, why Boise State? Why not go to a local master's program in education? I really felt that that was too easy of a solution. I wanted more. I wanted a challenge. A colleague of mine suggested Boise State EdTech program since he went there and he really enjoyed it. Investigating the program, it was right up my alley with the rigor in technology, and that was really what I was looking for. A program to introduce more technology at a higher level, to implement more technology into what I was already teaching. These 2 years have been an incredible journey. I have been empowered and has made me a better educator using the skills I've learned at Boise State. My classes have been transformed into a more constructivistic learning environment where students discover their own knowledge through student-directed learning. Now here are a few artifacts I would like to present. Thank you for watching. The first artifact that I would like to present, and the first artifact that made a great deal of impact on me and the courses that I teach, was the introduction to WordPress for our learning log. This was presented in EdTech 501, Introduction to Educational Technology. I was amazed on how many free open source blogging tools were out there, but this was the one that we were initially introduced to. I noticed the power of this tool after using it for the first time, and I became more familiar with it, displaying artifacts and reflecting on what was learned. That said, I had to implement WordPress in my classroom. Now, 99% of my students in each and every class that I have a WordPress account. So here's my initial WordPress account. As you can see, we have a header, which I call a masthead, and my welcome. This is our first introduction in 501, and then an about me, a little presentation about myself as well as my professional experience in years before that. And here you can see my EdTech courses and all my tabs. I call them navigation tabs. I think that is the right terminology. This learning log, it just opened up my eyes to the potential of what I can do within my classroom with this WordPress account. So now each and every one of my students, as I said previously, have a WordPress account. One good example is my digital photography classes that I teach. Students will have a particular assignment. They will go out and achieve that assignment, bring back or transfer and upload their photography. They will manipulate the photography in Photoshop, which is one of our primary programs that we use. And after, with a little bit of cropping, manipulation, and in color enhancement, they will then upload their images to WordPress, and then they will reflect upon what the assignment was, what they did to achieve it, and what was learned as a result of the project. This has been an exciting experience for me to implement WordPress in the classroom. The next artifact that I'm presenting is also created in WordPress. This was the final project in EdTech 506, Graphic Design for Learning. Our goal was to create a unit lesson plan where the instructor could develop a unit using a website or a blogging tool to deliver lessons and projects to the students. My unit was called Graphic Design Basics, and this is essentially for my contemporary media class that I teach. Let me show you how it works. You can see the home page. I present a the final project, which is a surrealism piece. I created this in Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. So very basically, it shows the potential of imagery done in graphic design. So we start off with lessons. There are 3 lessons in the unit. The first lesson is ligature logo design. I present to the students what a ligature is. I will give them examples of famous ligatures out there. And we start off with phase 1. Phase 1 is very basically creating the ligature in thumbnail form. They'll use a pencil on a white piece of paper, so they'll do a lot of things conventionally. They'll use their first initial and their last initial to create a ligature, as illustrated here. Then they go to the electronic stage, and I'm giving some information on how to set up your page in Adobe Illustrator. And the first thing that you have to learn how to do is to manipulate type. So I created this informational step-by-step guide on how to convert type to path and how to manipulate the type. And their final product. Okay. The next lesson is the business card design. They will take their favorite ligature that they created and they will create a business card design using their typography, their name, and their information to create this business card. So a lot of my assignments will scaffold on each other and eventually work into a large project. So they'll go through the process of the thumbnail and the what we call the type thumbnail stage, where they will actually illustrate business cards conventionally on paper and to basically give and simulate a certain look. Their goal is to create 4 business cards using the same components but creating 4 different design styles. Here we have contrast, dynamic, asymmetrical, and symmetrical. And then from that point, I will take them into Adobe Illustrator and give them some pointers on how to create their 4 design looks. And here is one of the final products. The last project is the t-shirt design within this unit. So I will present what a t-shirt design is and how to create it in the thumbnail stage, and then the comprehensive stage where they will have to actually illustrate it out as clean as possible, show the height, the size of the image, and other particulars like the typeface that they're going to use, what color it's going to print in, and how they are going to create it. Are they going to create it electronically, or are they going to create it by hand? And then they have to build a dummy, and a dummy is essentially where the design will print on the shirt. And then lastly, how to recreate it in Adobe Illustrator. As you can see, this has been an incredible experience to be able to deliver lessons in this electronic fashion. I also present samples of design, as you can see here, family of logos. And in this little informational, I am presenting the different categories of logos, and I define them. And then page layout, which is essentially like designing a business card. You have to lay it out. Not only do I give samples, but I give graphic terms, so they have an understanding of what the different terms mean, as well as some pointers on importing and exporting. All in all, this project was an incredible experience, number one, but having the ability to deliver instruction to students electronically was empowering. It's changed, basically it's changed my teaching. The next example or artifact was created in EdTech 502, Internet for Educators. Here we have the WebQuest project. Mine is called WebQuest with Art, Creating in the Style of. This is an assignment for art and graphic design students where they learn about pop artists of the 60s. The student starts off at the home page, which gives the introduction to the assignment. Then the students are directed to research the artists. Ultimately, WebQuest directs them and guides them throughout the assignment. There is a rubric to see what is expected to receive an A. This site also has a complete lesson plan and rationale behind the lesson so that other educators could use this tool. This was an incredible experience to learn how to develop web pages utilizing Dreamweaver and HTML code as well as CSS. The other artifact that I would like to present is another web page created in EdTech 502. This web page is the virtual tour assignment. In the summer of 2011, my wife and I, my sister and my brother-in-law, had the opportunity to travel to Spain. Since we were there in the beautiful country, we took hundreds of pictures, and therefore documenting our experience, building a web page was the perfect thing to do, and it sufficed the assignment. As you can see, the web page starts with a map of our destinations. Each navigation tab takes you to a town or city visited. Each page introduces the reader to the historic sites, food, artists, and the culture one can experience. In addition to this Iberian Peninsula journey, this also can be used as a learning tool. Each page has a specific assignment where the learner can read and answer questions about each destination. This was a great and very rewarding assignment, and the experience using Dreamweaver for the first time impacted not only the ability to create web pages, but it impacted my life as a graphic communications graphic designer. It's pretty much completed me as in the world of graphic communications. Not only as a graphic designer professionally, but as an educator. This was really a lot of fun. This is one of the last projects we worked on. If you take a look at this web page, you can see that I have hotspots, and if you go up to the navigation tabs here on the left-hand corner, you can click on any one, and it will take you to that destination. It will give an introduction to the city or town that we experienced, and then there's some information about certain sites. Down here you can see Guernica, which was created by Pablo Picasso during the beginning of World War II. And here on the right-hand side are basically quizzes, a quiz on each destination. Now I'm going to go back to start, and you can do that the same way with these hotspots seen on the map here. So if I click on Segovia, it takes us to Segovia, and you can see the Aqueducto as well as the Alcazar, which are the two popular destinations and historical sites within Segovia. So all in all, this project was absolutely fast. It was just overwhelming, let me put it that way. Okay, the fourth and final artifact that I'm going to present here was created in EdTech 513 Multimedia. This course by far has empowered me as an educator. The artifact presented here is my screencast work example. Teaching the theories of design can be very difficult at times, but teaching the graphic design programs can be extremely arduous. It takes many years to perfect these skills in various programs such as Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. Therefore, creating tutorials has been an amazing experience. EdTech 513 introduced me to a program called Camtasia, a screencast software that has opened my eyes up to so many possibilities as an educator. My screencast work example is a tutorial on how to create an Andy Warhol image or look using Photoshop. Let me show you how important it is utilizing tutorials within my classroom. So as you can see, I have Photoshop 101 Phase 1, how to create an Andy Warhol image in Photoshop. And I decided to go ahead and present this in an MP4 format rather than in YouTube, but it is uploaded to YouTube as well. So I'm going to go through very quickly. In fact, I'll go ahead and start so you can hear my introduction. Friend, Adobe Photoshop. I am using Adobe Photoshop 6.0, but you can pretty much use any Adobe Photoshop version that you have. Okay, here we have a colored image. So I'm going to now just speed up the process so you can see it very rapidly because this tutorial is over 20 minutes long. And it has two parts. So my first goal is to convert the image into black and white. After black and white, we will go ahead and drop out the background, apply a white background, and during this process I introduce the students, the learners, to all the attributes that we use to create this concept, this design within Photoshop. This is phase 2. Okay, now I get down into the nitty-gritty parts of applying the color. And as you can see through the process of the tutorial, the image starts to come alive and look like an Andy Warhol image. And then as a conclusion, I give my credits. Okay. I hope that you've enjoyed my artifacts through this video presentation. I want to thank the entire Boise State University EdTech program for giving me this incredible experience and journey throughout my 2 years at Boise State. Thank you, professors. I can't thank you enough. This is Greg Andrade. Bye for now.